right up my alley. But on Saturday, we had our regionals tournament, and I was at the bottom of a dog pile with someone pinning my ankle one way and someone laying on my knee the other way. So it popped all the tendons on the side of my foot, and now I'm here, and Philomena's disappointed in me, and we're good to go. So if you guys need blocks or straps or weights or anything, they're right up here in the corner. But let's get started in child's pose so we can get sweaty and moving and all of that good stuff. So while you're in your child's pose, spread out your fingertips nice and wide and connect them to the floor, and then let your hips get settled back towards your heels. And whatever you had going on this weekend, hopefully a little less exciting than a vicious ankle sprain, put that off to the side for right now so that you can focus on just moving your body through space and clearing all of the extra stuff out of the way. So take a deep breath in through your nose and fill yourself up. Exhale it through your mouth. Yeah, just like empty it out, clear it out. Deep breath in. Full exhale. One more time like that, full breath. Big exhale out. Let's start to build your Ujjayi breath. It can start out slow at first, or maybe you're ready to go and it's big and full right out of the gate. In a way that your brain has to start to pay attention to your breathing so that you can keep that focus here on your mat, whether you're practicing in studio or at home or somewhere else. Downward facing dog. Keep building the breath. You can pedal out your feet or shake out your head, whatever type of movement you want to take. Big full inhales, big full exhales. Walk your feet up to your hands, hang in ragdoll. You choose what you want to do with your hands, with your arms, and then start to connect the four corners of both of your feet straight down into the floor. Big toe mounds, peaky toe mounds, both sides of your heels. Then press into your feet, rise all the way up to standing. Reach through your fingertips. Bring your thumbs to heart center. Set your intention for your practice. Pick one simple, clear thing that you can focus on. We'll send out those intentions with 3 ohms. Deep breath in. Inhale, reach up, extended mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, tricep pull if you've got weights. High push up and pause. Right knee to right elbow. Left knee to left elbow. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in together. Exhale it out. Good. 2 more like that. In. Big exhale. Last one. Fill. Push all the air back out. Look forward and move. Feet to hands. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Rise to stand. A big inhale that goes all the way up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High push up. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath in together. Push the air out. Breathe in, expand. Empty it out. Last one. Exhale completely. Feet to hands. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Extended mountain, rise up. Take a baby back bend on this one. Yes, forward fold. Halfway lift, tricep pull. High push up. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Big breath. Push the air back out. Breathe in. Exhale it out. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Step or jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. Fold down. Last sunny. Rise up to standing. Go up and go back. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Big breath out. Full inhale. Big exhale. Last one. Clear it completely. On empty, jump to the head of your mat. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose and breathe. Stick with the chair. Get way back in your hips. Toes light and lifted on the mat. Yes. Take one more breath in here. Twist right on your exhale. Inhale, open your arms. Stay for the breath out. Back up to chair. Twist left. Inhale, open. Exhale, stay. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift, tricep pull. High push-up. Breath sounds awesome. Keep that up. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Step through. You've got one big breath to reach all the way up. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side warrior one. Step, press, a long, slow breath up to the fingertips. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air out. Breathe in. Big exhale. Last one. Empty to the pit of your belly. Step or jump, feet to hands. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose, one breath. Twist right. Inhale, open. Stay and breathe out. Good. Chair pose, reach. Twist left. Inhale, open. Stay and breathe out. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift, tricep pull. High push up. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Take a deep lunge in your front leg and lift. Low push up. Hands to the mat. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side warrior one. Plug your front big toe mount straight into the floor. Chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale down. Take a full breath in. Push the air out. Breathe in together. Thumbs down on your exhale. Yeah, there you go. One more. Push the air out. Feet to hands. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose. Sit deep. Twist right. Inhale, open. Stay and breathe out. Like the fingertips. Chair pose. Reach. Twist left. Inhale, open. Stay and exhale. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Take a bigger step forward. Reach up higher. Low push up. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left side warrior one. You got it. Press, lift, and go up and stretch back. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breathe in together. Push the air out. Yeah, sigh if that's there for you. Breath in and clear it. One more. Push all the air out. Step or jump. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose. Twist right. Inhale, open. Stay and twist. Back to chair. Twist left. Inhale, open. Stay and breathe out. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull with those weights. High push up. Knee tap. Knee tap. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side warrior one. Breath sounds good. Stick with it. Breathe in as you reach. Chaturanga exhale. Inhale up. Exhale down. Left side warrior one. You step on empty. Rise up on the inhale. Chaturanga on your exhale. Upward facing. Downward facing. Breathe in together. Big breath out. 2 more. In. Breath out. Good. Last one. Exhale completely. Feet to hands. We've got 1 more sun bee. Halfway lift. Fold down. Deepest chair pose yet. Sink. Twist right. Inhale, open. Stay and twist. Back to chair. Stay deep. Twist left. Open on the inhale. Stay for the exhale. Back to chair. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High plank. Knee to elbow. Knee to elbow. Low plank. Upward facing. Downward facing. Right side warrior 1. Deepest one yet on the right side. Go all the way up. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward facing dog. Left side. Warrior 1. Last one on this side. Press and lift. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Whew. Lots of fire right out of the gate. I'm already sweating and I'm sitting, so you guys are generating a lot of heat in the space. Lift your right leg straight up and back. Bend your knee and open your hip. Flip your dog. Go all the way over. And now's your opportunity. Now that things are warmed up, bring more breath down into your lungs. Clear more stuff back up and out. Make some space. Beautiful. Flip back over, side plank, right hand down, left arm straight up to the sky. And you can have a block or a weight in your top hand. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Yes. Now squeeze your ribs together on your front. Yes, Charles. 1 more breath. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Send your left leg straight up and back. Bend the knee, open the hip. Flip your dog. Yes, it's called awakening. This section's awakening for a reason. Feet in the floor, fingertips in the floor, wide open space for breath. Flip back over, side plank, right hand up to the sky. Shoulder blades together and back, front ribs together, right into center in the front. Now flex both of your ankles. Yes, Allison. Even if your feet are on the ground, flex your ankles. High to low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Whew. Right side crescent lunge. Take a few breaths in the crescent lunge. Yeah, we'll make crescent lunge the rest pose tonight in Ignite. So come down deep into your lunging leg in front. But let there be a quality of settling. Like all of this work, fast movement, lots of sweat and breath, and now settle. Land on your feet. Hands up to the ceiling. See if you can get each toe on your back foot straight down into the mat. Yes, even the pinky toe on that back foot. Good. You'll do some knee dips with your back knee so you can touch the mat or just come lower towards the mat. Go for 5, 4, 3. Keep breathing. 2, 1. Stretch up tall, stable in your feet, hands to heart, twist right. Steady, rhythmic breath. Anytime you notice that gets away from you, let that be the first thing that comes back. Spread your arms apart. Press your back thigh up to the ceiling. Yes, wide awake legs and feet. You've got 1 more breath together here. Stay for the exhale. Twist it out. Warrior 2, face the opposite way. Now land in this warrior 2. Even though this section is vitality and there's more heat to be created, it's a little more concentrated now. You've cleared off the surface stuff. Plug the center of your front heel straight into the floor. Extended side angle. Keep the center of your front heel on the floor. So if it feels like all of your weight is shifting into your toes on your front foot, soften those. Yeah, I saw that, Steph. And press the center of your heel down instead. Now take your bind. Top arm around your back. Maybe the full bind with the bottom arm underneath your front thigh. Yeah, it'll take a deep lunge in that front leg to give yourself space for that full bind. You've got 1 more breath wherever you are. High to low push-up you go. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side crescent lunge. Same setup on this side. Give yourself the opportunity to settle and ground down through both of your feet. I feel like a lot of the time when there's a lot of movement, a lot of heat, a lot of fire being created, we get a little bit too up in your chest and your head and forget about the feet. So settle back into the feet. All of the toes on the back foot, fully connected on purpose. Knee dips with the back leg. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch up tall. Twist left. You got it. Open up your arms. Then if things feel a little wobbly or unstable, you just come right back to your feet, right where you started. Foundation connected to the floor. 4 corners of your front foot connected to the floor. There you go, Amy. Stick with it. One more breath. Stay for the exhale. Get all the air out. Warrior 2. Settled and stable in the warrior 2. In a way that both the front foot and back foot are doing an equal amount of work. Extended side angle. Steady breath. Bring that piece back in. That's how you'll know, like when you start to get settled in a pose, the breath comes easy and fluid. Take your bind. Rob, you can go for that full bind if you put the towel in your top hand and let it hang behind you. Then grab it with the bottom hand. Yeah, there you go. Peel that top shoulder open. You got it. One more breath here. High to low push-up. Oof. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Now's a good time for a sigh. Take a deep breath in together. Yeah, breath in. Last one. Clear it all the way. Move forward. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose and stay. Way down into your chair. All 4 corners of both feet straight into the mat, and then start to slide your tailbone towards the back edge of your mat. Go from chair pose to iron footstool. Rise onto the ball mounds of your feet. Yes, reach the arms straight ahead. So you get your hips as low as they can go. Thighs parallel with the mat. Drop your heels, hands to heart, twist right. I know, let the heat build up again. Open up your arms. Use your breath to push the heat from your legs up into your body, out through your fingertips. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair, forward fold. Oh, good work. First 2 fingers are on your big toes. You can take a little mini halfway lift if you like to straighten out, lengthen out your spine, and then draw your heart to your shins. Yeah, an exhale through your mouth or a sigh might be what you need here. So even though work is happening, it's different work than you just did in that chair twist. Different muscle groups working, so those can get a break. You might shake out your head, yes and no. Give your neck a break, yeah. Then release your hands. Take crow from the head of your mat. We're taking 2 crows, so if you want to take side crow, that's on the menu. Those of you taking the regular traditional crow, spread out your fingertips nice and wide and pick that spot in front of your fingertips to set your gaze, to set your drishti. Zip up the pit of your belly, that space below your navel between your 2 hip points. Pull straight into center. One more breath here, wherever you are. Step or jump back, low push-up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. A big breath out. Move forward. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Chair pose. Back to these muscle groups. So just keep switching the muscle groups so that you've got the endurance for the whole time. Sit down nice and deep. Toes light and lifted to start, even though you know you're headed to iron footstool in a moment. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Yes, now iron footstool. Rise up. Thighs parallel with the floor, best you can. Yes, let your legs shake a little bit. Hey, heels down, hands to heart, twist left. Stick with that heat. Open up your arms. Spread your fingertips apart. Stay for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chair pose. Fold. Gorilla. Step on your palms. Padangusthasana. Toes all the way up to your wrists. And then you choose. You can have your feet hip width distance. You can take a mat width distance. What feels like the right amount of space for you? Pick that. Take that breath, the flow of your breath with you. Crow number 2. This one will be a little longer. So if you want to take this to an inversion or work on jumping back, maybe one leg or both in your chaturanga, you've got time for that. If you're working on the crow and you hold it for a couple breaths and then put your feet down and then try again, you've got time for that. So there's no rush. Eyes set to one spot. Just use all the tools that you've got. Eyes set, breath set, heat set in your body and out in the room where you're practicing. Nice. You've got another breath or two to get complete with where you're working. And then make your way, vinyasa your way to downward facing dog, however that makes sense for you. And we'll all meet up in the downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in together. Empty it out. 2 more. Breathe in. Breath out. Last one. Clear it all the way. Move forward. Halfway lift, tricep pull. Fold down. Rise up to standing. Eagle pose, right side, right arm under, right leg over. Wrap your limbs together, sit down on your hips. I want you to play around a little bit with height in the equanimity series today, the balancing poses. So if you always feel like, yep, this is where I'm always sitting in eagle pose, try sitting a little bit deeper and see if that gives you access to something else in the pose. So for me, it gives me access to wrapping my legs a little tighter because there's more space. Maybe that's so for you. Left side eagle, left arm under, left leg over. Playing around with the height. It doesn't have to be a huge shift where you're dropping like a whole foot closer to the floor. It might be just an inch, and that's all the space you need. Squeeze skin to muscle to bone, right into center line. Beautiful. Right side eagle, second set. Right arm under, right leg over. See if you can start at that lower point where your hips are a little bit lower than quote unquote normal for you. Eyes on one spot. Arms stay bound. Take airplane with your legs. Press your foot straight back. Arms stay bound. Squeeze them together. Stretch the sole of your lifted foot. Nice, Jenna. Now full airplane. Reach your arms back. So it'll take a lift in your chest like up dog. Yes. And the pit of your belly in and up to help catch that balance. Half moon. Open up. Left hand can go to the floor, to a block, or hover in space above the mat. Now, everybody flex your lifted ankle. You can stay right here in half moon or bend your knee and grab your top ankle for sugar cane. If you're working on the sugar cane, hand on the block is a great place to start because it's more stable than the hand floating in the air. Big breath here. Open, both feet to the mat. Oof. Left side eagle, second set. You got it. When you're doing the practice and after every pose, it's like, oh, that's the space that you want to be in. That's how you know, okay, yep, that was everything I had to give for that pose. Now it's time for the next pose. If you're kind of sort of doing the thing, arms stay bound, airplane with your legs, kind of sort of doing the thing. And then when you're done at the end, you're like, yeah, that was kind of a workout. I kind of did something. There's something else you have to give on the mat. Full airplane. Reach your arms straight back. There's something else to give. More breath, a bigger pose, a longer hold maybe. Half moon. A more steady transition. A leg and half moon that goes a little higher maybe. Yes. Or sugar cane. Go for it. There's all this time and space for you to experiment and try on new things, new limits for one more breath. Both feet to the mat. Standing bow or dancer's pose, right side. Here's another opportunity to play with that height. If you only ever have the tiniest bend in your standing knee, try a little bit more of a bend in the standing knee tonight. So a little bit more. Give yourself room in your standing leg where you can really hug in your leg muscles straight into your leg bones. A powerful, stable foundation. Yes. See if that gives you space to plug your big toe mound further into the mat. Yes, Allison. One more breath. Switch sides. Standing bow or dancer on the right. Try that same adjustment on this side. A more of a bend in your standing knee. It doesn't have to be a huge bend, but more than you normally do, so that you've really got to kick on the leg muscles and hug them in to create structure. Hug them in to create balance. Big toe mound into the mat. Last breath. Switch. Right side, second set. You got it. Eyes on one point. This is the peak pose of the sequence. It's really the opportunity. It's like a temperature check to see where your body is in terms of preparing it for bigger back bends later in the practice. This is like your first big back bend to go all the way to the edge and then switch sides. It's a good way to check. Do your shoulders feel like there's more space? Maybe more work needs to be done there. Are your hips open? Maybe there's a little more space to be had there. It's good to know pose by pose so that you can set yourself up for the biggest poses possible for that moment. One more breath. Both feet to the mat. Tree pose on the right. We'll do the hip opener variation tonight. So cross your right foot over your left thigh like a figure 4. Hands start at heart center. Yeah, you can use your hands to like scoot your foot up on your thigh if you need to. Flex your lifted ankle. You can stay right here, or step 2, stick your tailbone out behind you, bring your elbows down to your shin. You can hang out right here. This is a nice juicy hip opener and it starts to pull into the side of your glute. Step 3, fingertips or palms come down to the floor. So it might be on a block. Yep, that's a good place to go. Or they could be touching the ground. Stay with the palms touching the ground, or you can take the arm balance and shift your shin into the back of your triceps. I'll take you there when my ankle's not messed up, Sarah, I promise. One more breath here. Rise all the way back up. Shake that out if you need a little bit of a shimmy shake. Left side, left foot, figure 4 across your thigh to start. Just go step by step. No rush on this side because this is going to be a really deep hip stretch, a really deep glute stretch. Step 2, elbows to shin. You stop anywhere along the way that feels like, yep, this is my limit. I'm going to stay right here. Hands to the block or the floor. If you're close to the floor, you might bend your standing knee a little more to get your hands more stable. Last piece is that arm balance. Really got to press the shin into the back of the triceps to get that balance point. Good. Press into your standing foot. Rise back up. Both feet to the floor. Extended mountain. Reach up to the ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Tricep pull. High push up. Press your fingertips into the mat. Knee tap on the right. Knee tap on the left. Low push up. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Right side triangle. Step your right foot between your hands. Bring the breath back into the space. Especially if you can't hear your neighbor breathing or the person practicing next to you at home. Now's that time in the grounding sequence when you've cleared all of that space out of the way and now you can reconnect, reground. Take your top arm behind your back. A little bit of a bind. So maybe it's behind your hip. Maybe you've got enough flexibility to tuck it into your front hip crease and then peel your left shoulder open toward the ceiling. Yes. Peel that front side of your shoulder, that pec minor wide open. Press into your feet, rise up to standing. Side facing wide leg fold. Let's do some ninja lunges on this side. So bend your right knee and sink into your right hip. Bend your left knee over into your left hip. So you customize this lunging side to side however you need, right? You can stay up higher, come down lower, hands on the floor, hands off the floor. Make it fit for right now. Attach your breath to your movement. Make it really purposeful now that you've got clearer space. Yeah, there's the breath. Another time or two on each side. When you're done, make your way back to center. Press into your feet, rise up to standing. Namaste, front facing forward fold. Take a bind behind your back. Either reverse namaste or hand to elbow. Hinge forward. Little bit of softness in both of the knees. And if you're taking the splits, make sure you've got that equal amount of weight in both of your legs, both of your feet. Press both of your big toe mounts straight into the floor. Press the inner edges of your heels straight down into the floor. Enough that it starts to light up and wake up the inner lines of your legs. Keep those lines awake, twisting triangle or twisting splits. Bring yourself out. Let it be your heart that reaches and opens toward the side of the room, the long edge of your mat. Instead of working the arm up to the ceiling, that'll happen with the heart out to the side of the room. Stay here or twisting half moon. Float your back leg up to the sky. Flex that ankle the moment it comes away from the floor. Yes, one more breath. High to low push up. Good stuff. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left side triangle, step forward. You got it. This opportunity to reground, reconnect. Drop back into that breath. Skin to muscle to bone, right into the center of your body. So even though the limbs physically reach away from the body, that energetic sense of pulling everything into center. Top arm behind your back. Take your half bind. Work to peel your right shoulder blade onto the back. Yes, Brian, huge difference. Yes, Susanna, beautiful. Bless you. Press into your feet. Rise up. Side facing wide leg fold. Two options on this side. You can take a bind behind your back or take wide leg handstand hops. Either one. If you're going for the bind, keep the softness in your knees. If you're going for those wide leg hops, set yourself up. Fingertips spread super wide on the mat and gaze out in front of your fingertips so that you're shifting forward instead of straight down. It's all about paying attention to the detail in the pose, where you're shifting the weight rather than hopping up in the air and hoping for the best or forcing your arms to the ground in the fold. Like, let them melt. Yes. Release your arms. One last hop. Press into your feet. Rise all the way up to stand. Namaste front facing with your bind. Or splits if you took that on the right. Set yourself up and hinge forward. Press the soles of your feet deep down into the ground in a way that you can feel each bone in your feet pressed down into the mat. Way different from just having your feet touch the mat. They're down and engaged in the mat. Twisting triangle or twisting split. Feet still engaged in the mat, because all of us have felt this pose in a way where the feet just kind of disconnect and you're twisting and not really much is happening. Feet connected to help build the twist. Twisting half moon if you took that on the other side. Press that lifted hamstring up, up, up to the ceiling. High to low push up. Y'all are killing it tonight. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in together. Exhale it out. 2 more. Breathe in. Breath out. 1 more. Fill up. Push all the air out. Roll out to a high plank. Stack your shoulders right on top of your wrists. You have 2 options. You can hold the plank or take mountain climbers. Bring your knees into your nose. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the mat. Locust pose when you get there. Let's start the first locust pose with the tops of your feet pressed into the floor so that even your pinky toes touch the floor. Yeah, so there's a little internal rotation to your inner thighs. They wrap in towards each other and up towards the ceiling. Keep the feet touching. Lift up through your chest, up through your shoulders, your hands, feet still touching the mat, pinky toes still touching the mat. If you can lift the toes and not change that rotation at all. Yes, if you tapped your toes down right now, it would still be pinky toes touching the mat, same as your big toes. 1 more breath here. Lower down. Rock your hips left and right. Same start with the second one. Tops of the feet pressed into the floor so each toe can connect to the mat. Rise up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together on your back. Squeeze your inner thighs together. And then nothing changed about that rotation in your thighs. If you tapped all your toes to the ground, they would all touch at the same time. 1 more breath. Lower down. Side to side with those hips. Floor bow. Floor bow number 1. If you want to take one leg at a time, be my guest. Otherwise, grab both of your ankles and press your shins to the back of the room. A little trickier with your feet going up toward the ceiling, but can you squeeze your inner thighs together and then rotate them towards one another up to the ceiling? It'll free up space in your low back. Just that little bit for 1 more breath. Lower down. Take it side to side. Second set, switch legs or grab both ankles again. Rise up and away from the mat. Internal rotation on your thighs. It could be a subtle thing, that little bit that rotates up toward the ceiling and frees up so much space for your low back. 1 more breath. Lower down. Legs side to side. Upward facing dog. Pause in this up dog. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Lift and open your chest. Press it through your upper arm bones. Yes. Downward facing dog. Shift back. Look between your hands. Step or jump through to sit. Come into staff pose. Legs straight out in front. Arms straight out in front. It's not very often I do staff pose anymore, but get your sit bones down into the mat. You may need to bend your knees a little bit to sit up all the way. Arms out in front. As you lower your spine to the mat, I want you to go 1 vertebrae at a time. So see if you can get your lowest back to touch the floor before the middle of your back. That's usually the tricky spot for a lot of people. That's a dead zone on a lot of people's backs. You pull your lowest abdominal muscles in. Oh, yes, I can see them working. They're like kind of shifting around, trying to figure that out. When you get there, bridge pose. Bend your knees, plant your feet on the mat. Rise up. Bind your hands under your back or take cactus arms. Now, bring the breath back into the practice, big and full in this bridge pose. Big and purposeful breath. One more inhale together. Lower down. Take your knees left and right. Bridge number 2, press your feet into the mat. Rise up. Set up your arm position wherever that needs to be for you. Bring your right knee into your chest. Press your right foot up to the sky. 2 choices. Stay here with a long straight leg or pulse your hips up to the ceiling. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Legs straight up in the air or pulse the hips. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Knees side to side. All right, yogis, you are very ready for wheel pose right now. Tuck your fingertips under your shoulders. Press down. Rise up. Up and away from the mat. Plug your big toe mounds down. Plug the edges of your thumbs down. Tuck your chin. Come on down. Take a full breath in. Big exhale out. Number 2, press, lift, go. Bridge or wheel pose. You just keep committing to a pose and coming back into it. All of this work to get to a nice big peak pose. Come on down. Breath in. Breath out. Number 3, halfway point. You got it. Press, lift, go. Keep it simple on yourself. You've already done the work. You have the tools. Make the thing happen. Then come on down. Breath in. Breath out. Number 4, press, lift, go. Down in your body where things are happening moment by moment, just here and now. Tuck your chin and lower. Breathe in. Breath out. Number 5, you've got 2 more, almost there. Press and go. When your brain's getting tired, that's the time. That's the opportunity for your body to step into the pose. Come on down. Breathe in. Full exhale. Last one, yogis. Rise up. Bridge or wheel, big and open. All that space across your chest. Lower to the mat. Supta Baddha Konasana. Put one hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. Just feel what you feel here. Could be a physical sensation like your heart pumping, your breath moving, your stomach. Could be energy like a tingliness or some other sensation coming up to the surface. Maybe it's nothing like that and you're just glad that you're not doing another wheel pose. That's good too. Happy baby or dead bug. Soles of the feet up to the sky. You can grab the edges of your feet or the backs of your thighs to help yourself rock side to side or hang out in stillness. Then send your right leg up to the sky and let your left leg go long towards the floor. So you want your leg to hover above the mat just high enough that you can still keep your low back to the mat. So for some of you, that'll be higher than others. Some of you can get pretty low to the mat. Hands behind your head. Hands behind your head. I want you to pulse your chest up to your lifted leg. It's just a slight movement. Pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. If it feels like you're pulling on your neck too much, bring your hands by your hips and use your arms to help lift you up. Pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Both legs straight up. I know. Interlace your fingers, point your fingers up towards your feet, straight up towards your feet. Lift and pulse like you want to poke your feet with your fingers. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands on the outside of your right leg. You're pulsing up and to the right. Different muscle group. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch sides. I know. You've got one more set. One more set. Go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees into your chest. Oof. In fact, stretch out long. Stretch out your legs long, arms overhead, and stretch out the whole body. Fingertips to your feet. Oof. Now with stretched out like this, take a deep breath down into your belly. Woo. Exhale that out. Make your way to downward facing dog. Any way that makes sense to get you there. Downward facing dog. Unless you like taking half pigeon on your back, in which case stay right where you are. Right knee to right wrist for your half pigeon. You just made a fantastic container in your torso. Keep that container as you make your way into the hip openers. And give your head a place to rest. It can be on the floor, on a block, on stacked fists. Steady breath here. Now's the time for that. A powerful breath that gives your brain no other option but to pay attention to what's happening right here. That freedom of not having to manage what's happened before, what might happen next, just right here is all you're worried about. The space and time of just right now and right here. You've got a few more breaths in this half pigeon. You can stay exactly where you are or rise up and grab your back ankle or your back foot with one of your hands. Take king pigeon that way. Sometimes it's a little easier to grab one foot than it is the other, so you can play around with it and try it on. Downward facing dog, shake it out. Left side half pigeon. Set yourself up. Make your way down. Right into that steady breath. What would it take for this pose, this half pigeon, to have an end result of you going, when you get out of the pose, like the other poses, the more challenging poses for you? Not to say this pose isn't challenging, but it has more effort and fire to those poses. What would you need to change physically in your body in this moment so that, oh, I couldn't have possibly given anything else in that pose can happen here? I gave everything I had in that particular pose. Stay or king pigeon. Grab that back ankle or foot. Steady breath. Downward facing dog, shake it out. Frog pose or seated wide leg fold, you choose. If you're taking that seated wide leg fold, it might be nice to sit on a block, like right on the edge of a block so your sit bones are on the block. If you're taking frog pose, block can be nice underneath your forehead. I usually remember that after I'm already in frog pose and can't reach the block, so I'll tell you that now before you're all set up. Yeah, so you choose whatever variation works. And if frog pose on your back with the feet against the wall is best for your knees, great, do that. Toes and feet awake. Ankles that are flexed, toes awake. Use your breath like a tool in this pose. See where you can create more space or more softness to allow more length to happen. It's usually easiest to find the spot on your body that feels the tightest or like it doesn't want to cooperate with this particular pose. Put your attention on that spot and breathe into it. The spot that has checked out of this pose. Big, deep breaths right into that space. Take one more breath together. Full exhale out. Make your way out of your pose. Take your time. Back onto your mat. And then when you get there, seated single leg extension is next. Right leg out, left heel in towards your thigh. Fold over your extended leg. Point your toes up to the ceiling. Press through the center of your heel on that extended foot. Switch sides. Left leg out, right heel in. Toes up to the ceiling, center of the heel straight out. Seated forward fold, both legs straight out. Bend your knees as much as you need to get a tall, straight spine to start. Then fold forward. You can put a block in front of your feet, a strap or a towel around your feet. Let your head hang down towards your legs to stretch out the back of your neck. Tabletop or reverse plank. Plant your palms behind your hips. Fingertips face forward towards the front edge of your mat. Rise up. Tabletops, press the soles of your feet into the mat. Plank, squeeze your inner thighs together and point your toes to the ground. Nice. One more breath here. Lift your hips. Lower down. Fish pose. Just a couple of breaths in your fish pose. So you can put a block between your shoulder blades or tuck your hands underneath you. Either one is a good place to be. Eyes stay open. Choose something on purpose with your legs. You can point your toes, flex your ankles. Maybe Supta Baddha legs is a good fit. Deep breath in. Full exhale out. Make your way onto your back. Let's work on shoulder stand tonight. Shoulder stand or waterfall for your inversion. So if you're taking waterfall, back on the ground, legs in the air. Shoulder stand, start in plow so that you can get a strong base with your palms on your low back before you send your legs up to the sky. So if you're in your waterfall, especially if you've got your hips on a block, pull your navel straight down to the front of your spine. See if you can pull it down enough to stretch the tissue in your low back. Shoulder stands. Press down with your triceps, the backs of your arms into the mat as much as your shoulders. Paige is going to be my lovely assistant tonight and do eye towels because it'll take me about 20 minutes to do that if I do it myself. Shoulder stands, make your way to plow pose. If you're in waterfall and want to work on plow, go ahead, send your legs straight back. Long legs in your plow, let them settle behind you. Plow to deaf yogi. Bend your knees, hug them around the sides of your head, and you can choose to keep your hands on your low back or maybe reach them back by your feet. Slowly unwind, piece by piece, bone by bone, back to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze. Supine twist, drop your knees one way, twist and look the opposite way. Heavy bones, let yourself settle. Take a deep breath in together. Take a sigh. Supine twist, opposite way. Deep breath in and sigh. Supta Baddha Konasana. Got your cold eye towel if you want to put that where you need it right now. Shavasana. Stretch out your legs, stretch out your arms, let your palms face up toward the ceiling. Then take one last breath in together. Fill yourself up, up, up. Exhale it out. Let your entire body rest easy on your mat. Deepen your breath. Bring some movement back into your hands and your feet. And plant your feet on the floor and rock onto your right side. With your eyes still closed, press down and rise up. Take a comfortable seat. Inhale, reach your hands overhead. Exhale, thumbs to heart center. We'll finish up practice together with 3 final ohms. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Thumb, knuckles to forehead center. Thank you all so much coming into the studio, showing up online, making your practice happen. Namaste. Good work, everybody. All righty. If you borrowed any props, just leave them up here in the corner so we can spray them off for the next class. And if you have any questions about anything we've got coming up or anything about your practice in general, let me know. Have an awesome rest of your Tuesday, and hopefully I will see you on Thursday.